गौतम आप ये बताएं, I mean हम जब इंडिया पाकिस्तान देखते हैं, we build it as final before the final, etc. etc. Under you, Asia Cup 3 times, Champions Trophy, this current this one, it has been a one-sided contest. Surya said to us at the press conference at the Asia Cup that you call it a rivalry when there is real fight. Is India Pakistan now more media hype? Is it us for our headlines, or in the change room? Is it more an England or an Australia or a South Africa? When you're playing Pakistan, do you know at the back of your mind that you're actually a much better team?
I don't take those. I don't think so. I think we got to trust, respect. Sorry, we need to respect every opposition. We need to be ruthless on the field, but more importantly, we got to be humble. But I don't see that there is no more a rivalry. Yes, we want to play a brand of cricket what we want to play like, but I don't. Whether we play Pakistan, whether we play Bangladesh, whether we play any opposition. Look where we were against the US. We were 70 for 7. And that's why I say that humility is so important in sport. We keep working hard, we want to be ruthless, but more importantly, I don't believe in such statements where there is no rivalry. There will always be rivalry, whether it's Pakistan, whether it's Australia, whether it's England. We want to keep getting better. That is something that has got to be important rather than thinking what the opposition looks like. If we keep getting better, if we keep upgrading our skills, if we keep upgrading our mental stuff, I think that is something we need to set a benchmark for our own self rather than thinking of the opposition.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Sanju Samson call? Because, 3 games, 90, 90, 90, completely transforming everything. And all of us feel good. He comes across as a great human being. Can you tell us a little bit what prompted the Sanju Samson call once again to get him back at the top and then the success?
Look, I know a lot of people must have thought about just to split the 3 left-handers at the top, but that was never the case. We wanted a more explosive guy at the top because the kind of brand of cricket we were playing since last 18 months, we felt that if we can get more explosiveness at the top, I think that's going to help give ourselves the best chance to win probably the World Cup. And that's the reason we always knew the quality that Sanju Samson had. We always knew that if he gets going, obviously he's going to make life much more easier for a middle order as well. And luckily, I think, fortunately, that happened. It was never to do about splitting the 3 left-handers and all that off-spinners and stuff, because I feel that if you're a quality player, I think you should be able to deal with any kind of bowler in the opposition, whether it's the off-spinner or a left-arm spinner. But I felt that Sanju, someone who's got 3 T20 hundreds before the World Cup, you can't just keep him on the bench for too long. Obviously, he went through a tough phase against New Zealand, but that's okay. People go through those kind of lows, and you can understand that someone who's just got picked for the World Cup, he wanted to make it into the playing 11. He was so desperate to be part of the playing 11, sometimes putting himself under a lot of pressure as well. So giving someone a break for a couple of games and always trying to get him back into the top 3, I think was something that worked for us. Then he's got, obviously we know the kind of talent he has, and hopefully he can kickstart his career from now on and probably reach another level coming in future as well.
I know 27. I know you were initially thinking till 2027, but now that you've won back-to-back T20 World Cups, will 2028 the LA Olympics be something that Gautam Gambhir will set his eyes on? Will the Olympic gold be something, that gold medal around your neck at LA along with your players? Is that something you will think about or have started to conceptualize or think about in your subconscious mind? How important is the Olympic Games?
How important is Olympics? Olympic Games are very, very important. But मैं तो हर मैच हारने के बाद साक होता हूँ. So I'm sure ये 3 महीने की सिर्फ शांति है. उसके बाद again I think people will start talking about it. I don't think so people will look at me even till 2027. But again, I think my job is to go out there and try and keep delivering, keep being honest to the players. And yes, whether I'm there, whether I'm not there, I think Olympics is going to be important. Olympic gold is as big as winning the World Cup. I've said it before as well. For me, I think if India can go on to, especially the cricket team, can go on to win the Olympic gold, I think it's going to be as big as winning the T20 World Cup.
If you're asked by the BCCI to stay on?
I don't look at that far, honestly. I think you guys will start judging me by what? By the World Test Championship, whether we qualify or not.
No, that's right. I mean, let's not confuse formats. T20 World Cup, Gautam Gambhir has taken it. Champions Trophy, 50 overs. T20 Asia Cup and this one, you have done it. Now, if the BCCI requests you, stay on, steer this team to the Olympic gold. Yes, no?
Look, I would love to be part of the Olympic winning team. I would love to be, because I've always believed very, very few privileged people get the opportunity to represent the country in Olympics. And if ever I get the opportunity, I think it'll be an honor. But again, I think I don't look that far ahead. I think the next challenge is World Test Championship, and then obviously 50 over World Cup as well. And those are two challenges which are going to be there in future.
I've known you for 20 years, and you consider me a brother. We exchange messages when we are down, both of us. And I want to put this on record. When I was down with the controversy, I don't want to go into that. This is not that session. It's Gautam's session. Gautam Gambhir and I would be in touch on a regular basis on WhatsApp, and he would be with me on the call, Dinesh Chopra, Gautam Gambhir, as many times as I had requested. Personal gratitude on behalf of the family. Putting that on record.
Sweet. Thank you.
So I know you. If there's one event I would want you to kind of win, is the Olympic Games. I've done 6. There is no parallel. Win that for India, because we don't win a gold. Even the last games in Paris, we had a silver. So stay on and win that gold for us. Stay on.
Thank you so much.
50 overs. 2011 was the last when we won, Gautam. Your 97 steered the game. 2027, South Africa. Saurav was doing an interview with me for this conclave, and he said, that'll be Gautam Gambhir's real challenge. He's a fantastic white ball coach, but South Africa will be his real challenge. Have you given it any kind of thought?
Look, there has been challenges in my tenure. You see, 5 test matches in Australia was a challenge. 5 test matches against England was a challenge. Champions Trophy was a challenge. T20 World Cup was a challenge. Yes, South Africa is going to be completely different conditions. South Africa is going to be a completely different challenge as well. But still, we've got 1.5 years from now on. And hopefully, we can try and build up to that 50 over World Cup, because the preparations will eventually start as soon as possible. The sooner we start, the better we're going to give ourselves the opportunity to try and win that tournament as well. Because obviously, as you just mentioned, that India hasn't won the 50 over World Cup since 2011. I can't sit here and say that we will go on to win the World Cup. I don't work that way, but we'll try and give ourselves the best chance to be very competitive in the 50 over World Cup. That is something that I can assure, and we've got the talent. White ball cricket, India will never be short of talent. Hopefully we can, once the IPL finishes, we can set ourselves for that one big tournament, which is going to be in 1.5 years from now.
I've asked you quite a few news questions. Nick, we've still got time, lots of time. So one digression. This hotel, I was told, this hotel, fond memories, this city, fond memories. Kolkata, Gautam Gambhir, adopted son, special?
Look, first of all, I don't think so that I'm an adopted son. I think Kolkata had given me so much love that I can never be. The more I say thanks, the lesser it is. And actually, Kolkata made me the leader I am. If KKR wouldn't have given me that opportunity in 2011, people wouldn't have, or I couldn't have achieved what I could with everyone, what we could achieve as a KKR captain. That is something which Kolkata has given me, and I will relish this for the rest of my life, because the amount of love that I've got from people of Kolkata, hopefully we've been able to give it back to the people, because Kolkata needed identity. Kolkata needed that win, needed that, because the kind of support KKR has got from the people, the kind of loyalty people have shown towards KKR, even during the initial first 3 years when KKR was struggling. I remember when 2011, when I came here, first time as a captain, a lot of people said a lot of things, it's going to be tough and stuff, but the amount of love people have given me, I think I've got the same amount of love when I was in Delhi as well. So I don't think so that I'm the adopted son. Hopefully I've become the son now.
Nice. Nice. You mentioned leadership. Am I right if I say that you as coach of KKR also has made Gautam Gambhir the head coach? I mean, that journey, winning the IPL, that kind of prompted you to be, the chosen one for the BCCI. Will you attribute that? Because you as India coach, if somebody asked me 5 years back, I would say no. Gautam Gambhir as India coach, not in my radar. And then if you remember, I was the one who wrote on 15th of May, and you denied, rightly, because you didn't want to give me the story. That's a different matter. But 15th of May, when that coaching thing was there, I said, you should be India coach. Can you tell me, did you think at any point, 2 years back, you would be coach of India?
No, I didn't. Honestly, it was a privilege, and I remember that during that tenure when I came back to KKR after 7-8 years as a mentor, And then when KKR started doing well, I got a call from Jai Bhai that this is what you need to take. You need to be the head coach. And I, at that time, was not ready for it because I had never been the head coach of any franchise, any team. I've never been the head coach. I've always been the mentor. And I remember how big a challenge it was because being a mentor is completely different to being the head coach, and that also of the Indian cricket team. But sometimes what fun there is in life if there are no challenges. And I felt that if I have the honesty, if my heart is in the right place, if I know what I feel for Indian cricket, and I should take up that challenge. And probably, yes, Kolkata did play a huge role in me getting that job, because if I wouldn't have got back to KKR, if we wouldn't have done well, probably I wouldn't have been in that position where I am right now. So for me, I think, yes, Kolkata or KKR has been extremely lucky to me, whether it's from the leadership point of view or whether me being the head coach now of the Indian team.
Special relationship with Shah Rukh Khan, Kolkata?
Look, I have a special relationship with Kolkata. I think that is something that is important. Yes, I have a very good relationship with SRK as well, but for me, I think the relationship, the emotion that I have for the city of Kolkata will always remain, and something like that will always remain very close to my heart. And I've said it, that the amount of love I've got, the amount of support I've got, they've never left me, even during my bad times as well. I remember in 2014, when I started that journey with 3 ducks and 1 run in first 4 games, we got back to India and we started winning. The amount of support we got, we needed, 7 wins out of 7 to qualify for the playoffs. We went on to win that year after winning 9 in a row. I remember the kind of support coming back to the same hotel and the amount of love I got. No amount of thank can be enough for the people of Kolkata and for KKR as well.
Tell me something, Gautam. I mean, when you have a player like a Jasprit Bumrah, freak, best in the world, all of us say that, incredible talent, and then you're told medical advice is, okay, 3 test matches, not 5, or that'll be a risk. As head coach, I mean, in England, for example, all of us were like, "Arey, why is Jasprit not pushing himself? Why is Gautam not telling him, play 4, such a series on the line?" You have someone who you can perhaps use for that 1 win. You can push a little bit. How do you deal with that dilemma? No, I will give this guy the space. There is medical advice as well. At the same time, a series can be on the line. How challenging is dealing with someone who is that good and his medical condition for a Gautam Gambhir?
Look, it is challenging. I'm not going to say that it is not challenging. You always want someone like Jasprit Bumrah playing all the games, especially those important games. For example, what you just rightly mentioned, the Oval Test match. But you got to start listening to your medical team as well. You got to trust your medical team as well. And sometimes you can't put a player's career online. I think just because it's a crunch game, just because we are under pressure as a team, I have no right to put someone's career online. So we got to look at from that point of view as well. I know everyone spoke about it during the Oval Test match, that why can't we push Jassi to play another Test match? But it wasn't fair, because we had already decided before the start of that tour that he's going to play 3 Test matches, and fair to him. And that's the reason why we had picked him to play 3 Test matches. And rather than criticizing or rather than creating a controversy around that, I think we got to understand from his point of view as well that being a fast bowler is never that easy. And we need someone like Jassi playing for as long as possible and as many formats as we can. But again, something like that, I have to be very clear. I have to be very straight in that point of view, that not at any point of time, just because I could feel the heat or I'm feeling the heat or we are under pressure, that I put someone's career online.
Spin? India and spin, we were great players of spin. There's so much talk these days that we don't play spin that well. Foreign teams using IPL, their players play in India for a long time. They're using spin against India, off spin at the start, etc., etc. Have we kind of diminished in terms of our ability to play spin? Is it because the foreign players play in India for far too long? Your thoughts, or do we need to improve? Is it about domestic cricket, conditions, India and spin?
Look, rather than us talking about the overseas players coming to India doing the IPL and getting better at playing spin, I think we got to get better playing at spin. I'm not going to say that the overseas players have got better. I think we got to keep getting better as well. And I think I'm not going to blame the players, because we don't get enough time to prepare before the test series. That is something we got to work going
May I
forward.
ask that? Because, for example, Australia, you all played a white ball match and then you landed in Calcutta for the WTC match against South Africa. You didn't have more than 3 days or 4 days. It's kind of inhuman, these kind of schedules. And you had to play a test match at the Eden Gardens. Different conditions, different mindset, different format. South Africa was playing in these conditions much more than you. You were playing in Australia. How is that fair on the Indian cricket team?
Yeah, that's spot on. And that is something which we got to change in future as well, that come the test series, we got to start giving more importance for the preparation before the test series as well, because preparing for a white ball series is far more easier than preparing for a red ball series as well. And that is something which we've probably lacked a little bit in the last 2 series at home. Yes, there was West Indies and then there was South Africa, but going forward, I think that is something which is on the cards, that we got to start preparing better. And I think BCCI has been very supportive on that front, that at least 10 days or 7 to 10 days camp there has to be before every test series, because it's not fair on the players as well. People from the outside will only look at results. People from the outside can only talk about, oh, we lost to South Africa. But you got to understand that we came back from Australia. It's not an excuse, but that's the reality, that's the fact as well, that we came back from Australia. We had only 2 days to prepare before the first test match at Eden Gardens. And imagine how much pressure the boys would be under. They've not played red ball cricket for 2 months, and they're suddenly getting and playing against the likes of Rabadas and the Marco Janssens. So for me, I think that is something which all of us have realized. You always learn from your mistakes as well, and hopefully in future you could see something like that changing very quickly.
Gautam, that's a very important point. And again, that's very Gautam, you know. I mean, acknowledge what needs to get better. That's introspection. So I think that's what defines this man, that if there is a problem, he will not shy away from the problem, rather he'll address the problem. When I look at this current Indian team, Gautam, I have to say this, that the leader that I now see in Shubman Gill for test cricket has to be attributed at least partly to Gautam Gambhir. Getting him to bat at number 4 in England, scoring 750. What prompted you to take that call to get Gill to bat 4? A position Sachin Tendulkar and the greatest players have taken that. What prompted that from the top? And Shubman Gill as leader, what according to you stands out?
Look, first of all, it was just the combination. We felt that we needed a bit of experience in the middle order, because when you're going through a transition, when a lot of new boys are coming through in red ball cricket, you wanted a bit of experience. We have someone like a KL Rahul at the top who's got experience of opening the batting, and we needed someone like Shubman Gill who's played, close to 40-50 test matches. So rather than having a very inexperienced middle order, if Shubman can come at number 4, and it's going to give him a bit of a breathing space as well, especially leading in a test match when you're on the field for 1.5 days. You want to come back and you want to just probably freshen yourself up mentally and then just give yourself a breathing space. And we all know the kind of quality Shubman had, and there was no surprise that what he did in England and against West Indies as well. A guy has got close to 1,000 runs in 7 test matches, which is incredible for any young guy achieving so much of success when he was made the captain. And again, I think I've said it before that he's ticked all the boxes. He works really hard, he says the right things, he's honest to the players, he keeps the environment light, and that is exactly what coach wants in a captain. Yes, obviously he's a work in progress. Like any other person, when you're captaining a red ball team and you're captaining a test side, it is never easy. It is far more easier to captain a T20 or a one-day side as compared to the red ball team, and he'll keep getting better as well. And hopefully going forward, we got to see the best of Shubman, not only as a player, but as a captain as well.
Instagram, Gautam Gambhir and Mahendra Singh Dhoni, that thing, that was as big as the World Cup. I mean, the whole country got behind you.
No, actually, good on him to come and watch the World Cup final. Good on him to ask me to smile. And I wish one day he could be in my position and I can...
This smile is for him?
Yeah, absolutely.
This smile is for
and
Mahendra
hopefully
Singh
one
Dhoni.
day he could be in my position and I can write the same thing. And hopefully he can smile from the dugout. But again, good on him.
Nice. A word on the BCCI and Jai Shah. It's been hugely supportive. Jai, for example, multiple times in personal conversations with me also, and the BCCI in tough times, they've been fully supportive of Gautam Gambhir.
Especially Jai Shah. I think Jai Bhai has been very supportive. Not many people trusted me with this job, and I very well know this for a fact that I didn't have the experience of being the head coach. His call to me to ask me to be the head coach was an absolute honor, privilege, and more importantly, I think I've seen a lot of flows, and I don't hide away from that. I've seen the lows of New Zealand. I've seen the lows against South Africa as well. And when you go through the lows, you don't see any messages on your phone. For example, that's the beauty of our profession. When you win the World Cup, you get 1,000 messages on your WhatsApp. When you lose, you don't get a single message on your WhatsApp, and very few people call you during that time. Jai was one of the guys who called me after both the series, whether it was New Zealand or whether it was South Africa. He knew that how down I would be. So sometimes when you remember someone calling you in those moments, is something which I can always be thankful and grateful to him. And more importantly, I think whether it's him, whether it's BCCI, they've been very, very supportive. They've given the free hand. They want Indian cricket. And more importantly for Jai, I think his heart is in the right place. He wants Indian cricket to do well. I remember when I was appointed, he was the secretary, and how much he wanted Indian cricket to do well, and he wanted Indian cricket to win. And that is something which all of us should know. So all I can say is that my gratitude and thanks to Jai for whatever he supported so far till now.